The Sentinel is known to be reliable, fearless, disciplined, consistent, courageous, motivated, and skillful.
So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances.
All these qualities start from the mind. Your mind can be your worst enemy or your most powerful weapon.
The world becomes your library to help you to become better at your craft.
Is this the dagger?
Learn how to achieve greatness and tap into the Sentinel mindset.
This episode is brought to you by The Arena. The Arena focuses on helping law enforcement and security professionals achieve their ultimate work experience, curriculum, and fitness goals. Visit thearenatoronto.com.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to this wonderful, beautiful day. I mean, it truly is beautiful. My name is Constantine Ioannou, and today we have, again, always in the background, but always doing the big work, Matthew Doyle.
Thank you, Constantine. Love being here.
Amazing. Who is Matthew? Well, Matthew is the guy that does it all in the background. He makes me look good. And I mean, literally, he makes me sound good as well. So, Matthew, thank you for that always.
Of course, I want to be the Robin to your Batman.
Oh, I love it. Okay, everyone. Today, I have a topic that I'd like to bring up. And it's something that I can tell you right now that has been sitting on me for a while. And the thing that I love, Matthew, that we do here is that I love media so much. I love movies. I love film. Is splicing some of that directly into what we do here and kind of tying the story together. So I'm going to call this episode today. I actually have the title for this already. It's Winning with High Performance Teams.
Nice. Amazing.
Okay? And I want to talk a little bit about that. As our organization specializes in the event and hospitality industry as one of the main sectors, we have gained a reputation of providing excellence. When we get called, it's because our clients want a high-level performance organization that can facilitate the highest standard of service. And we live in a absolutely incredible city of Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
And I said Toronto. I didn't say Toronto. So I'm authentic, Matt. I'm authentic. But what I can tell you is that we have gained this reputation of providing excellence. And one of the things that we always look for in the organization is people that can come in and provide the exact level of service we're looking for. Mm-hmm. Now, somebody may say, well, I don't have that kind of security experience. That's fine. Having security experience is a small piece of the pie. We'll teach you your security experience. What we're looking for is work ethic. We're looking for humility. Simon Sinek, I've referenced this before. I love this guy. He has an incredible quote. Don't do business with people that want what you have. Do business with people that believe what you believe. And every single time that we have interviews in this organization, that is a quote that is referenced to them. You see, it's very hard to have a high-performance team when someone does not believe in high performance. Mm-hmm. If you're someone that thinks, I just want a job, I just want to just get by, I just want to get paid, and that's it, you're not a high performer in my view.
No, I 100% agree.
Because what makes you special, what makes you unique is what you bring to the table, what you bring that gives it that little bit of extra secret sauce. Okay, if you look at high performers in sports, and we're going to tie this analogy together. If you look at high performance in sports, Matthew, you're dealing with the best. Mm-hmm. If you're in the NBA, the NHL, the NFL, the MLB, if you're in any of these sporting organizations, you were picked amongst thousands of people to come to the crowd and level up and perform to the high standard. Mm-hmm. They're not looking for mediocrity. They're looking for the highest level of performance. So it's only fitting that I showcase some videos today. But before we do that, I want to showcase this one little clip put on by Shark Tank and obviously entrepreneur guru Barbara Corcoran, where she talks about negativity in the work environment. But it's not about negativity in the work environment. It's about how she deals with it in her organization. And I found this practice to be a little bit profound. Mm-hmm. Warning, if you're in HR and HR personnel, you may not like what you're about to see, what Barbara states. But let's hear the video first and maybe provide some commentary on that. So, Matthew, why don't you throw that video on and let's hear from Barbara.
Sure, let's have a look.
I love firing people on Friday. I would stop by someone's desk on a Wednesday and say, hey,
would you have any time sometime on Friday? They should have heard about the rumors. Yes. What time's good for you? 2? See you at 2. I couldn't wait till they came in to fire them. You know why? Because I picked out individuals who were negative, and my attitude toward the negative person was they were ruining my good kids. Because people who are negative have to have somebody else to be negative with them. They got to talk to somebody, complain. Okay, I'm not talking about people who tell you what you're doing wrong. They're invaluable so that you can get better. I'm talking about chronic complainers and negative people. You got to get rid of them. So I learned very early, after firing one negative person, never tell them why you're firing them. Okay? Or you get in a rat's nest. Why am I negative? Why am I go, no, you just don't fit the company. But why? I don't know. You just don't fit the company.
Okay. Now, what do you, Matt, let me ask you a question. What's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, at the very beginning, I was shocked. I'm like, you like firing people? What kind of video are we watching here? But as we got through it, I understood where she's coming from. You don't want those bad apples poisoning the good apples in your company. I 100% agree.
Okay. So I tie this to our theme of performance. When you're someone that's negative or bring a negative vibe to your work environment, you're not doing anything to uplift. You're actually doing something completely opposite. You're tearing down, right? So you can't really be a performer if you're in a negative space, right? So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on this, everyone listening? Do you think someone in a negative environment, do you think there's hope for them? Do you think that there is a situation where they can be worked on, or are they too far gone? Look, our organization, we've had, a few people that have come in with a negative mindset. And I can tell you this negative mindset wasn't always there. It somehow got developed. And I usually find the mindset is the culprit, the individual's mindset. I mean, I'll give you an example. We had one time an individual back in the early years who thought he should be a supervisor. He thought he should be in leadership. But everything that he did in his actions did not demonstrate that he could be a good leader. His style of thinking of leadership was authoritative. I can tell people what to do. I have no problems disciplining somebody. But the thing that was lacking there was, show me how you can develop, inspire, and motivate somebody. That's what I look at as leadership.
Of course, you want to be a role model, not a delegator.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, when you got that feedback, suddenly it didn't click anymore. And because of that, that person started to, at that point, moving forward, degrade. He started to not have a care attitude because it was not going his way, and he started to turn into a negative Nelly. No offense to anybody named Nelly, okay? And the reality here is that when now you're in a work environment and you have to start hearing the negative Nelly now talk about this and this and that, again, it's doing nothing productive. So when we're talking about performance, we truly are talking about working to move for the greater good, to create a better goal, to create a better structure, to move the organization forward. Now, with that said, there's another video that I want to watch. And this is going to really tie into the performance element. And let's jump into it. This is from one of my favorite movies out there. If you ever wonder why Sentinel has so much Spartan imagery or soldier imagery or back in time imagery, it's because of what they stood for. Even the Sentinel mindset, the traits and attributes of a warrior. Matthew, why don't you put this on? It's a little scene from 300. To explain what the scene is, King Leonidas is talking to, I'm going to butcher this name a bit, but Ephialides. Okay. And he's someone that so desperately wants to join the 300 army. And Leonidas here is basically putting him to a test to see if he can lift his shield, which is something required to do in combat and in war. And he's referencing about a military strategy called the Phalanx, which was basically a way that they were able to create a shield as a unison, as a team, as a whole, to better have an outcome in war. So why don't we pop that on right there, Matthew?
Let's give it a watch.
Raise your shield.
Sire.
Raise your shield as high as you can. Your
father should have taught you how a phalanx works. We fight as a single, impenetrable unit. That is the source of our strength. Each Spartan protects the man to his left, thigh to neck, with his shield. A single weak spot, and the phalanx shatters. From thigh to neck, Ephialtes. I am sorry, my friend, but not all of us were made to be soldiers.
Okay. Powerful. Powerful here.
Incredible.
Now, let me tell you what I love about this. He's talking about a weak link. He's talking about having an entire team work together as one unit. He states single, impenetrable units. Okay? You can't penetrate because the unit is strong. Now, when we look at sports teams, they have one mission statement. What is that one mission statement that a sports team has in every game?
To win the game.
To win the game. And that is exactly what we at Sentinel have here. Our goal is that every single shift that our people that are on is to win the shift. And in order for that to happen, your entire team needs to be on the exact same page. Your team needs to have almost the exact same level of skill set. Your team needs to have the same level of training. And if you do have all those in place with that right mindset, you're going to win. But when somebody comes onto the team who doesn't possess that, you are setting your team up to fail. So in order to have a high performance team to win, you need to have the right players involved to perform to the highest standard. And that is something that we go through at great lengths. I'm not going to talk about other industries. I mean, this message can be used for every single industry.
Everything.
Okay? But in our industry, in the protectors industry, in the security industry, this is one thing that plagues it massively. And I'm going to speak to our country in Canada. I'm not going to reference the US because it's not my country. But I do know they still battle those same problems. But I'm going to reference Canada. We need to do better in this protectors industry with making sure we're doing our due diligence in hiring performers to not only protect human life, to protect asset property, but also to move forward and stand up as an organization to have pride in what you do. Matt, what's your thoughts on this so far?
Well, this is the thing. Like, you can only give your 100% if you take that positive mindset, that negative mindset, that draining aspect. In the security, in the protection industry, this could be a situation where an individual can be in harm's way if you're not acting at 100%. You can't afford to have that negativity there.
How many times have you heard in the security industry people say things like, oh man, I don't know if I want to do that because I don't know if that guy has my back, or I don't know if that girl has my back, or I don't. How many times have you heard that?
A disgusting amount.
It happens all the time. Why should anyone feel that their supports are not standardized or qualified to where they should be? Nobody should feel like that. It's a liability. And we just recently talked with Stephen Somerville, president of Stay Safe, going over a situation that happened a couple of weeks ago in our downtown core. But the reality is this: if you're walking into this industry, if you're going to succeed from the operator perspective, you need to hire performers. You literally do. If not, you're going to lose. And I'll tell you this right now, there's a lot of loss happening on a daily basis. Okay? And it's one thing to take a loss and turn it around into a win and say, you know what? I do not like this feeling of losing. But if you're accustomed to losing for profits, if you're accustomed to losing for the sake of business, that is where I have a big issue with this, right? So in this organization, one of the things that we stand for is training. One of the things that we stand for is ensuring that the right person is doing the job. That's why we've built a reputation on this. And I implore anybody listening to this, whether you're an individual or whether you're an operator, strive to be the best version you can possibly be if you're walking into this industry. If you're walking in here because you just want to make some good dollars, I'm sorry, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. I like to hear people when they say why they're entering here because they like to help others. In fact, that should be the number one reason why you do this kind of work.
100%.
To help other people.
You want that person to run into that fire, to be able to be that protector, because that's the role that we inspire to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is it. If you don't want to do this role because you don't like that type of work, if you're that person saying, "No, I'm not doing that. You're not going to pay me too much," that's not a problem. This industry is not for you.
No.
That's what it means. That's all it means. It just means it's not for you, right? So to me, when I'm bringing this up today, when we're talking about winning with high performance teams, the key is to truly bring in people that look at the work in a serious way, that have a passion to help others, okay, and that are also team players. Because another thing that we can go further on into this movie 300 is that they worked as a unit. If you have one person, and I'm going to, like this video, we're not going to showcase it here right now, but we're going to push this on there. There is a scene in 300. And we're gonna. You can actually see the scene right now.
Yeah.
And what's happening is there is a bunch of arrows flying towards the 300 Spartans, and they're able to create this phalanx shield that you see to penetrate the arrows. However, if one person, just one person, does not put their shield up properly, it will expose somebody and kill them potentially. And when we look at what we do on the job here, this is why it's so important that you're coming in with a high level performance mentality, because your lack of care or action could create an issue for your teammate to the left and to the right, and that's just simply not fair.
No, it's not.
So winning as a high performer, to me, really what it comes down to is caring about it, but really digging deep and asking yourself the question, am I cut out for this industry? Am I cut out to be a protector? And if you maybe haven't asked those questions to yourself, sometimes you may be a protector without you even knowing. Let me tell you a very quick story, Matt. Very quick. In 2020, I believe it was, or 19, before COVID started, I went to Miami for a symposium. It was an executive protection symposium. And I was in a theater of protectors, I'm going to call them, because that's what they identify in the U.S., are protectors. And there was probably about 100 people in there. And they were listening to different lecture after lecture for people that are specialty in this industry.
Yeah.
And the one thing that really, as I was listening to people and their stories, first of all, I observed how much they were willing and passionate to help other people. Like it was almost like their purpose. And what I had an epiphany sitting there on that couch. I'm thinking, what I'm hearing people talk about and what I'm seeing, I'm a protector.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is this, I don't walk around my life, I'm a protector. I don't do that.
No.
But my actions and how I respond to situations in life on a daily basis all point to one thing, and that is I am truly a protector.
100%.
Okay? And you could be a protector. You can be a father protecting your children. You could be someone that literally runs to somebody in distress. There's many different layers and levels of being a protector. You do not have to be told you're a protector, but if it's something from within and you can identify with that and tap into that, this is a calling for you. And when I may say this, the protectors industry, whether it be in law enforcement, policing, whether it's corrections, border, whatever that's security, whatever that is, that's something that you should tap into. And again, maybe you can ask yourself, how do I know? I think you know. I interviewed a person today, and that person told me that they love helping people. And I asked them the question, I go, would you list yourself or identify yourself as a protector? And they said, I would. I go, tell me why. Because everything that I do is to help. Everything that I see, I'm inspired by helping others and seeing the outcome. This is what we're talking about. These are the traits that we look for in people. And I'll tell you this right now, it's not something that you can internally just see on your own, but people around you can tell when they can tell when you are that individual. There's something about you. There's just something about you. I can approach you. I can feel safe around you. That's what a protector is. So I challenge everybody today, when you're watching these videos, to just think. You're in the industry right now, whether you're in law enforcement, whether you're in security, maybe you're in it and you're just not winning because your mindset's not there, because truly you're not a protector. You just looked at this as just a job, great pension, great pay, whatever. And if that is the case, I think it's important that you do an evaluation in your own life just to make sure that you win in life. Because sometimes you can do things that can also change your course. If you're that individual that does want to walk into this protectors industry, whether it be in the private security or in the public law enforcement, just make sure you continuously push forward to doing what you feel is best, and that is to help others. Because the more we can do so, it's a better world for everybody, and it's better for the industry, and it's better for just the public as a whole, because they will feel safer. Any closing words, Matt, on your end?
Well, you've been very inspirational. I have nothing else to add here. This is perfect.
Okay, amazing. Love to hear your thoughts. If you identify as a protector, please shout it in the comments below. We'd love to read them. And who knows, we might be able to even highlight your story as well. Hope everybody has a fantastic week. From one protected to another, enjoy the rest. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.
This podcast is brought to you by Executive Protection Lifestyle Canada. Make sure to drop by next week and don't forget to subscribe.